Well, we're going to try to run the hydraulic trainer today, and you will find it at this address above. And whatever browser or method you use to access this learning object, quite often you will be asked to enable the Adobe Flash Player, or sometimes even to allow it. So in Chrome you would find a little icon up here that gives you the system properties so that you can allow it, and then you're going to have to click to enable the Adobe Flash Player. So let's do that. So allow, and we get to the introduction screen, and we will just let's talk about the fluid power part here. Fluid power is just a fancy term that it means both hydraulics and pneumatics. And since this is hydraulics only, I am simply going to refer to this trainer as the hydraulics trainer, our learning object here at Durham College. Let's continue, and we get to the main interactive screen where we can build all of our circuits. I just wanted to go to credits first here to give credit where credit is due. This was created in 2008 by Norm Fenton, one of our faculty members here at the Whitby School of Skilled Trades, Apprenticeship and Renewable Technology. He was a subject matter expert in hydraulics, and Aaron Bennett, who still works here at the college in the CAFE, the Center for Academic and Faculty Enrichment. And you got to give these folks a lot of credit. This was a learning object created in 2008, and it is still as applicable today and as functional today as it was in 2008, and the students just love it. The teachers just love it. There is a help screen that gives us some little tips on, keeping the system pressure at 500 psi, and what works on different circuits, and how we get hoses and how we get rid of hoses, and some of these safety items within the trainer. So now we'll go to a list of circuits that we can build. There are 9 different circuits that we can build, or training exercises, and they go from basic to the most complicated, the regenerative, and we are going to start with the basic today. So we'll leave it on basic. We will look at each and every time we get a circuit diagram that we can use to build our circuits with and connect our hoses. And the students will need a certain amount of knowledge just to know what this symbology means and some of this other terminology. And so we can't introduce this at the very, very beginning of the course, but we can introduce it fairly soon after, because the training material actually runs the students through it quite thoroughly. So this is the lesson document itself that the students can bring up. Once again, we get the circuit diagram, but probably more important for the introduction to the trainer is the students are shown exactly where the hoses needed to be hooked up. And secondly, we also have a textual list of directions that they could follow to hook those hoses up to get a circuit working. And most of our exercises, or I should say all of our exercises, have some questions or some observations that they need to make as part of the exercise to ensure that they were able to grasp the concepts that we needed to teach in that exercise. I'm going to close off the document just because I know the circuit well enough that I neither need the directions nor the circuit diagram. Another nice feature is we have lesson audio that we could play, and
Circuit 1, basic.
Could follow that.
The circuit is a basic hydraulic circuit in which a hydraulic cylinder will extend and retract. Build the circuit as per circuit.
So the students can access this in many ways, and in a safe way too, and a repeatable way, so that they can do this exercise over and over again to prepare for an upcoming exercise in class, or simply to reassure themselves that they have gotten the concepts. So let's build the circuit. So whenever we need a hose to connect, all we have to do is, we don't have to take it from the storage rack like in the real life shop. We simply need to click on a port, in this situation the pressure port, and we're going to connect up the pressure line here. Because the first thing we normally do is we hook up the directional control valve. We're going to have a return from the control valve, and we have an in, and now we have an out, so we have oil coming and going from the directional control valve. So now we're going to have to connect up this cylinder. We'd like this cylinder to move back and forth. So let's take A, and we're going to deliberately go to the wrong port here. This is, by convention, the B port of our cylinder. So we're taking A and going to B. Let's see what happens. Now we'll go from B to A, and it looks okay. Let's try to start it. Oh, see, we can't start it. So that simply means that something's gone wrong with the circuit. Another sort of safety feature that the students can get used to. So let's fix that up then. We'll just make sure it's stopped, because another safety feature is, unless it's stopped, you cannot remove hoses, which is a real life application, because in actual practice, removing hoses while you are running the system is actually dangerous and quite often impossible. How am I going to do this? Oh, I could just take this and I'll move it over to here, because both of these ports go to the same place, and bring that one over here. Now we should have a circuit that operates, and we've got a green light, meaning the motor is running, driving the pump, putting fluid through our system. Now let's operate our circuit. So we simply take our directional control valve and move it this way, and our cylinder extends. Now if we take that directional control valve and go back to the center, nothing happens. And it's one of the concepts we learn in class, that it's a 3-position valve, and in the center position nothing happens. And then lastly, we push it over here and our cylinder returns. Very realistic animation here, and the students love it, the instructors love it. This is a fantastic learning object. So we're at the end of our lesson, and we want to take our hoses off and put them back on the storage rack. Well, isn't that something? It's not coming up. That's because we forgot to turn it off. So let's turn it off, and now we can take our hoses. We just take it, put it over in the storage rack, and away it goes to be stored for future usage. And we've gone back to where we started, and we could go on to the next circuit if we wished. So that is the Durham College fluid plower or hydraulic trainer learning object, and yeah, we find it extremely useful as a support in our classrooms, and that actually is extremely helpful. Okay, goodbye.